had to settle the animal down several times to rest. With no place dry to sit, I stood shivering, placing a hand to my throat. My fingers pressed against bare, clammy skin. Before picking the deer back up, I swiped my hair off my face, not caring that my hands were muddy. Welcoming smoke billowed from cottages on the outskirts of pine mist. I tried to hurry and stumbled over a tree root. The deer slipped out of my shivering arms and landed with a thud onto the ground. "Sorry," I said with a wince. I attempted to shake some warmth into my fingers before picking the animal back up. Once I reached Devdon's cottage, I set the deer down gently on the ground and knocked on the wood door. It opened a foot before a set of light brown eyes, framed by messy matching brown hair, blinked at me.
"Aerith?"
"I made a kill," I said, bowing my head. Devdon opened the door wider. He wore a thin, short-sleeved tunic and had long, slender, muscular arms. We were both in our 19th years and fighting to survive. But Devdon had been born into this life, whereas I was still learning how to adapt. Luckily, I'd always been a good shot, and Devdon was more than willing to clean up my kills and sell what we didn't keep, for a cut of the profit. As much as my father wanted to keep any good fortune to come our way, every last bit of it, he still didn't want anyone to see me selling at market or through back channels. For now, this arrangement with Devdon worked, but in another couple months, I might be forced to operate alone. We'd sold off the last of Mother's art, jewelry, and antiques. My sisters and I were supposed to keep one small pendant each, but even those had to go last week. I pressed my palm against my throat, feeling not only naked but hollow, carved out like a jack-o'-lantern on All Hallows' Eve. Devdon whistled sharply.
"Nice shot. He's a beauty."
"Was," I corrected in a voice so soft I doubted Devdon caught it. He stepped out, closing the door behind him, probably to keep the heat in. I shivered as Devdon looked over the carcass.
"I'll get started on him after breakfast. He'll fetch a good price."
"How soon?" I asked. Beneath his messy head of hair, Devdon's teeth lined up perfectly when he smiled.
"Soon. Trust me."
"Do I have a choice?" I grumbled. Devdon's answering wink was hardly reassuring. For all I knew, he was taking more than his fair share. But he also knew how to negotiate the best price, and it probably had something to do with that enticing smile of his. As I started away, Devdon coughed.
Aerith, you've got mud on your face."
I swiped the back of my hand across my cheeks. Devdon's eyes squinted when he laughed. "Did I make it worse?"
"Yep."
He grinned. I sighed and reached for the ghost of my mother's pendant yet again. My fingers curled in on themselves, clutching damp air. I lowered my fist and nodded. "Thanks for taking care of the meat."
"Yeah, sure,"
Devdon said, shrugging one shoulder. He leaned against his door and grinned.
"Check back in a couple days. Or come by sooner after you're, cleaned up and dry."
His eyes lingered on my lips. I snorted and rolled my eyes. "That'll be the day." Devdon's grin widened.
"Careful, Aerith. A year ago you didn't think you'd be living hand to mouth either. Things change from one day to the next."
Boy, did they ever. And they were about to change in ways I couldn't begin to imagine. Life was funny that way. When I thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. Like it had something to prove. On the east side of Pine Mist, modest yet beautiful manor homes line the smooth, compact dirt road. The soft, sweet smell of pink and yellow roses caught my nose as I shuffled by Mrs. Periwinkle's prized garden. Weeds were creeping over the stone footpath to our front door. I kept up with it as best I could, since Father had been forced to let our gardener, Goran, go. As soon as I stepped inside...